What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? You're currently tuning in to the CultPop podcast, episode 72, a show where we're going to talk about, well, I don't know if we're gonna, but we usually talk about movies and TV and Walton Goggins' teeth and all the other things that scratch your nerdy little itches. We're coming to you live from Young Chunk HQ.
Young Chunk?
Bomb-ass podcast production space here in Manayunk / Philadelphia.
Manayunk is a part of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you address it to Manayunk / Philadelphia, it would probably get here.
Yeah. I'm your best friend, JD of JD's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA / Manayunk. Super rad comic shop that caters to super rad folks like yourself. So get your asses on in here and buy my shit because it's tax season and I need the money.
It just was tax season. You
not
know
if
that,
you
right?
did. Not if you did.
You did the extension. I got it. You extended.
Yeah, because they need.
That's cool.
Apparently, when you file your taxes, you have to also pay them.
Oh, if you owe them money, then they.
All right, I gotta go make a call.
You can do it online during the show.
With me tonight to talk is
Brian.
Dylan.
Not Brian.
Right.
I am here. I was not ready, but I'm here.
Hey, and also Brian.
JD likes to keep me on my toes like that.
I do.
That's true.
He's like literally. I have him strung up in the back, and he's just his little tippy toes
Tippy tapping.
resting.
just grazing the floor.
I'm in
It's
so much
hurting the
pain.
show.
Please help.
He could do editing stuff better if he wasn't strung up like that.
Yeah.
But JD
For the
loves
bit.
it. Yeah.
Commit.
Always commit to the
Yeah.
bit.
Commit to the bit.
Also, Alice.
Hi.
Hi. Did I say Brian?
I said Brian.
You said Brian.
And then you said Dylan.
Also,
And then I said not Brian.
Yeah.
please feel free to
You're
comment, like, subscribe, click the bell notification, do all that nasty fun shit that you like to do. Speaking of the chat, which I didn't yet speak of, Robert Monroe Jr. says, "Good evening, Cult Poppers."
I think you could say, hey, good evening to you, Robert
Good
Monroe
evening.
Jr.
You could
And
say that.
You could say that.
Yeah.
If you say, speaking of the chat, and you put a colon in your voice, right? Speaking of the chat, this is
Yeah.
me speaking of the chat. What
Yeah.
follows this?
Yes.
Right? So even if you weren't just speaking of it.
I'm now speaking of it.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Prepare.
Yeah.
Speaking of this thing.
You guys, I feel like we nailed it.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our next segment called What You Been Up To This Week, Huh? Wherein I will ask our contestants, what have you been up to this week? And then I'll add a little annoying huh at the end of it. I'm going to start with Brian
Hey.
because he didn't have an answer 30 seconds ago. So we're going to see if he came up with one. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Believe in you.
I did come.
What have you been up to this week?
Huh.
Stole my thunder. Go ahead.
You said you were going to say it. So anyway, I saw a really cool art installation at the Art Museum in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia
I've
Art
heard of
Museum.
it. That's where Rocky lives.
Yeah. And you can still hear him.
Yeah. On a night just like tonight.
Exactly.
Tippy tapping up the steps.
Yeah.
Just hear him.
He doesn't want to wake up anybody. Yeah. All the other people.
That's how it goes in the
also-
movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. Classic scene.
Yep.
Mario sounds wah as he's like running up the steps.
Yeah. I don't think he likes that they're called Mario sounds because he did it first
yeah,
and
yeah.
often.
Did he? When was?
I never saw that movie.
He's going with the bit.
Oh, okay.
So I saw this
Well, I was asking when Mario,
when he said, I'm
when
Rocky.
he said it first,
Oh, probably
Before Rocky?
before
What-
Rocky.
When was Rocky saying these things?
I don't know. That's
Well,
what I'm
That's
asking.
the bit. So wait, you're asking when did Mario?
Is
in
it
the
a Mario
video
sound,
game-
or you're saying jokingly that it's a Rocky sound?
He was saying
Which came out
jokingly
first?
that it's
I know,
Really?
I know, but I'm saying if
I thought
Mario
we were.
came first. Sorry.
So
I
what have you
ruined
been up to this week, huh?
it. Yeah, what?
So
The ghost of Rocky.
I
making
was
Mario sound.
with a party of other beings, fictional and real, that were at the Philadelphia Art Museum. I
Oh.
saw an art installation.
Yes.
Right? And it was a very impromptu trip. So it was very cool. It was in a folklore of the world. This specifically was Asian folklore. This part, there was something by Ai Weiwei, which was very cool. It was like a Lego self-portrait on a mythological creature, like a fish with 7 or 9 bodies. And in Lego, because he was like making a commentary about
That's so
modern
cool.
material and it's all black and white too.
Oh, that's
Black and white Lego?
Individual black Legos and white Legos were
Yeah.
assembled
Yeah, yeah. that's
into.
what I
Oh,
mean.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
what I'm
right.
asking, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the black lines formed this portrait, and that was very cool. And then also in that room and outside of the room, there's a story of I believe it's a Buddhist story that these monkeys were trying to reach the moon, right? And so they're trying to reach the moon, and they link down, right, to try to get to the moon, and they
Like a
hold on
barrel
to
of
each other.
monkeys.
Yeah, I was
A
just
barrel of
gonna say.
monkeys.
Yeah.
But which one was first?
Probably
This
the
Buddhist
Hasbro
story.
toy.
Yeah. And they were like, this could be.
This could be a
That'd
cool
be a
myth.
really good
Yeah.
mythical story.
So anyway, they're trying to reach the moon, and they link together, and then they find it's not the moon, right? It's the reflection of the moon.
Classic.
And
that
so,
happens.
like, what you see is, or what you experience, a reflection of reality rather than reality, right? The Tao, the way that is all things, but the way that can be spoken of is not the way, they say, right? So even using words to describe it means that's not it.
Right.
So these monkeys are trying to do this. What this artist has done, and I can find out his name, is he's got 21 words, these black written words in like sculptural form, in each in a different language that say monkey. And he has stretched these words, the characters out to kind of be shaped like monkeys. And some of them are alone. Braille is included as well.
Oh, nice.
cool.
And some of them are alone, and then they're repeated, linking together. And I thought that was very cool. Like language, all of us working together, talking about what is reaching for an illusion. And it was very interesting.
kinda cool.
And it is an illusion of a real thing, right? It's still real. It's something, but it's not what you think it is. And it points to the truth, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty neat.
So,
That's
thank
way
you.
smarter than what I've been up to this week.
Here, I've got his name. Let me, before
Yeah,
we
tell
move
us his name.
on.
I wanna know.
It's called Monkeys Grasping for the Moon, 2001 by Zhu Bing. It's Xubing. And it was, he is Chinese and is active in China and the United States.
That's very cool.
So
Really cool.
Yeah.
I want to go to the museum and see that now.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
There's more of that exhibit. There's some other like older things and in a couple of different rooms from different cultures, some various other interesting things.
Brian, I have a question.
Hey, what is it?
How long have you had that phone?
Not long at all.
How long?
A couple of months.
That's a long time.
Okay.
For you to not have a case on your
I
phone.
knew
I keep
that's where
meaning
you
to
were
get
going with
one,
it.
and it's most inappropriate of me. And I
Okay.
was just like, oh, I really
I was
should
like,
do this.
you've got some.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I know. So here's the
You
thing.
got big whoa.
I got big whoa. I keep meaning to get one, and I was gonna just get one, and I am planning to be on a honeymoon soon, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, we went away on vacation a while ago, and we got those waterproof bags for your phones.
Yeah.
Worked really well, and then the second day, not as well.
Ooh.
And
You have to close them.
but with water inside.
Water
Yeah, yeah,
inside.
yeah.
Pour a
You have to
bottle of water
acclimate
in
your
there.
phone to the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a hyperbaric chamber.
It's like when
Yeah.
you have you seen those videos of people like throwing babies in the water, being like, "Come on, come up," and like, to, like
I was that
swim to the
baby.
side. You were that baby.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing with your phone. You just gotta snap until
yeah,
it
and then the
rises
baby,
to
you're
the
like, you
surface.
gotta acclimate.
You gotta acclimate to the water, baby.
We'll see it when we see it.
See
Right?
it.
But,
Hope you figure this out.
So I was like, you know what? This time I'm gonna get maybe an expensive, good actual case, not
Yeah.
a bag. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't. I was like waffling about it, and I'm like, it's been a long time, and I haven't had this phone case.
Because I've had this phone
Yeah.
for less than a week.
Yeah.
And on my trip, I didn't have a case on it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
On my trip from the car to the store, my store, as I was returning with my brand new phone,
Yeah.
I dropped it.
Oh no.
No.
Is it
Yeah.
all right?
It's fine.
Oh, good. Okay.
But yeah, I was like, I really got to make sure I have
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So I
like
was,
right away.
I was
I
impressed that
usually-
you're just walking around
No.
willy-nillying without your cell.
I usually
I could
am like,
never.
I don't even like to get used to it without the case.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's not the
It's so
feel.
much
You know?
better
Yeah.
without the case, though, right?
It's
just
nice,
like,
but it's
I like it.
it's a little hard to hold sometimes, and it's a little
Slippy
whatever.
boy. Anyway,
No, can
Alice, what you been up to this week?
Much like Brian, I have also been appreciating a piece of Philadelphia art.
Oh.
I've been watching season 8 of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Nice.
So this is my first time watching it. My fiance and I first time watching it. And Costa for sure thought that this wasn't going to be my brand of humor. Like he thought it was
Season
going to.
8?
No, just like in general.
Okay. He's like, all right, before you jump into season
No,
8.
no. Like we started with
the
season
same,
2,
right?
but like this week we've been in season 8. So
Gotcha.
that's why I'm focusing on season 8.
Sure.
I've been within the last like couple months we've been getting into Always Sunny.
Yeah.
And so like he for sure thought I wasn't going to like this brand of humor, and I ended up loving it. So we're already in season 8. It's been like not that long. We've been like booking it through the season. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
I know I'm super
Is
late
it
to the game.
Still
Yeah.
8 seasons in, still good?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think I gave up
couldn't
after
believe-
like 4.
I couldn't believe we were like already like that far into the season because it's still just to me just as funny.
Just like going down like water.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I can't believe we're like this far into the show because it's still holding up. And they're like 16 seasons
I have no idea.
now.
I lost track.
My brother, who's also named Brian, huge fan of the show, and so I'm always texting him
This
about
show.
it. Your show, yeah, this show. Huge fan of Always Sunny.
That's nice of him to say.
Yeah, he's a huge fan of all Brian's.
Just Brian's in
yeah.
general.
Brian's.
Yeah. Brian's.
Those
He's pretty Brian.
But yeah, so I'm always texting him about where we're up to. And what was the last one we watched? It was called The Gang Gets Analyzed.
They're all the gang this, right?
Yeah, The Gang
Okay,
Gets. Dylan, do you know what I'm talking
just
about?
Groaned or something?
Actually, no, we watched the one after that. It's where Charlie's mom has cancer.
That's hilarious. Charlie's cancer-ridden mother.
Me a money now.
Hijinkery
Give
there.
me money.
Give me
Money a me now.
me money now.
And then Costa's in the chat saying, Rumham, I'm sorry.
Rumham, I'm sorry.
Is that from that show?
I hope so.
Yeah.
There's an episode where Dana DeVito has a rum-soaked ham. And he's just in the middle of the sea eating it and getting drunk on it. And then it floats away and he's just screaming, Rumham, I'm sorry. And like...
Oh, like...
So now Costa and I, whenever we're saying sorry, we don't say sorry. We yell at each other, Rumham, I'm sorry.
what was that? What the movie I'm thinking of?
Basic Instincts?
No, Castaway.
Castaway. Yeah, it's like that.
I'm sorry.
It's like
he's-
the
I
shot
never
is
saw it.
like basically shot like that. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah.
the rum hand
It's
in the
like-
foreground and like they're floating away. And he's like, rum hand.
Does he get Wilson back in the movie?
No.
He got rum hand back. No
Oh,
spoiler.
that's
Oh,
good.
thank God.
Okay.
A little spoiler, but yeah.
A win at least.
Yeah, I remember...
Yeah, where did you drop off? Because I've
like
seen it.
Season 4, maybe?
What's the last episode you remember?
No idea.
Okay.
I do know that I went to a friend's house when it was like it was new, and it was the first time I'd ever think I'd watched it. And I hadn't smoked weed in a long time, and then I had a little puff, and we watched the show, and it was amazing. And it was one with Rickety Cricket.
He's
and
a recurring
literally-
character. And he's also like one of the directors or something on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Like he's like an important guy.
But anytime they even just said the word Rickety Cricket,
Oh
I
my
lost my
God.
shit.
Yeah.
That's not the last I saw, but that was like the first. I
Yeah.
saw.
He keeps coming back. He's still around.
That poor guy.
Yeah. But that's another example. I talked to Noel about this because I was trying to figure out, I was like, this doesn't seem like it would be my brand of humor. Like it seems like raunchy and these people are all terrible. And I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out, I was like, but why do I love it so much?
Yeah.
And Noel said, he's like, it's because the show doesn't try to convince you that they're good people. Like the show knows they're bad.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld,
That-
they're all shitty people, but like the show kind of wants you to think that they're not.
That's the exact thing Noel said. And then I was like, oh my God, you're right. It's like, I don't, oh.
Here's the thing. I've,
We're going to talk about,
but on the other hand, so I've thought about this about Seinfeld, right? And there was a time I went through where I was like, I don't feel like watching these people be bad to each other, right? But I'm not sure how much it does try to convince you that they are decent people, but also the show is primarily about etiquette, which is interesting, right?
Yeah.
And they're not wicked people. They're also George is, but they're not good either.
Yeah.
But they do some good things and some selfish things. And I was like, oh yeah, it is a lot about what you should do in what situation, right?
Yeah.
Which also does not mean that your core is good
Right.
just because
True.
they
Right.
behave in
Yeah.
that way. But I was thinking when you mentioned before the show and now that it doesn't try to convince you that they're not terrible. Earlier sitcoms, I feel like, took place in a world with different rules where you
Yeah.
could do something and there just wasn't any consequence from that thing, not just for you, but for anyone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, like, oh, I tried to do this horrible thing. And then the universe moved on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is not really a solid part of
Yeah.
your history.
We talk about this on Inside the Morgue because we watch a lot of like old CSI.
Your other podcast.
My other podcast. And there was one episode I think it was CSI, and it was early 2000s, and the victim of this crime had been on an antidepressant and went on a hike. And like everybody was shocked that a woman on an antidepressant was allowed to go on a hike.
What?
Well, yeah.
Like who allowed her to go on this
Yeah.
hike?
Alone? She
was under
She
her
had
own recognizance.
depression and was on medication. How dare she go on a hike? And people were like, this
Wow.
is suspicious. I'm like, she just wanted to go outside.
Yeah.
And I talked about it on the podcast. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Do
a
they just
medicated
need-
woman and I like going on hikes and I'm fine.
I think it's
So far.
so far.
So far. Does it say on
You
the
did
bottles,
almost
like-
murder your fiance, though.
He saved my life. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
She stabbed him in the eye.
I almost fell off of like a 30-foot drop and it was a winter hike.
Oh.
I slipped on a rock and my hiking pole went up. It poked him in the eye and he still managed to catch me with one hand and pull me up on the ledge to safety. And then also go, because I was freaking out, of course. He's like, hey, you're fine. You're okay. Also, is my eye bleeding? Like it was an afterthought to him.
Yeah, yeah.
His eye has fully healed, but it was a rough process.
There was
Yeah.
something.
There was.
okay.
Oh yeah, he had a
yeah.
corneal ulcer.
Oh no.
Like worse than an abrasion.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. He might
It made
be
him
a bit-
sexy.
But now he's all right.
Now he's
It made the
great.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
You're like, now I've got
Yeah.
this.
So he came back from that trip, and I was like, something's
Yeah.
different about
What
it.
happened?
He just said one eye
Is it
closed.
your engorged iris?
Yeah, something eye related.
Facts, he's in the chat.
Jeremy Stucane says, they're all terrible, so it makes it okay to laugh.
Exactly. You get it.
Eddie Madison says, howdy, y'all. How are you? Brian, how are you?
I'm well, Eddie. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
Yeah, how are you, Eddie?
Yeah.
And Constant, I always,
Costa.
says, facts. Didn't even get an eye patch. Oh, though that would have been really cool, too.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can still have one. You don't need to.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
No one's going to
We
stop you, Costa. You
probably-
could just buy an eye patch and wear it.
We might have one at the house because I get very into Halloween. I have a lot of random
You do.
costume
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I have an eye. I have like an ocular thing that you wear like an eye patch, but it's like kind of a steampunk futuristic. It's got like
Oh,
a red clear
neat.
lens.
Like a
neat
monocle
thing.
type thing?
But
or-
it's got depth.
Ooh.
It's like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Emotional
yeah,
depth.
and when I put it on, I have that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's, yeah. But there is one. It's mono thing, but I wouldn't call it a monocle. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
You
'cause
could,
it's. But I wouldn't.
Could I call it a monocle?
Yeah.
I hope that you would.
I'm going to.
Hey, JD, what you been up to this week? I'll
Yeah.
tell you guys. Thank you so much for asking. I haven't been up to much, but my wife has been watching a show on Netflix that's streaming right now called One Day. And this is a 13-episode, half-hour each show
6.5 hours.
about, it's based on
Quick
a novel by David Nichols.
Uh-huh.
And so I had actually seen we watched the trailer for it, and I was like, I know, I've seen this. There was a movie maybe 15 years ago starring Anne Hathaway. And so basically it is this man and this woman meet one of their last nights of college, and they spend the night together, and sparks fly, but they're both leaving to go in opposite directions. And so the story
Like a duel?
Yeah. They're about to take 10 paces and then fire.
Okay.
So they're about to go on their separate ways.
Yeah.
And the story follows them. It reconnects them once every year.
Oh.
Like one day every year. So it just sort of like, it starts in 1988. These two kids have a good time, and then like it goes on to the year 2000, I think.
1991. You don't see every year,
You see every year.
but it starts in 1988.
Yes.
And it's 13 episodes.
Yes.
Do you see more than 1 year an episode?
At the end of the season, yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
I'm in.
So it's starring Ambika Mad and Leo Woodall. And so I remember enjoying the idea and the execution of the original film. I never read the novel.
It's kind of like After Sunset. Yeah. And and you like those.
I love
right?
those.
Yeah.
But my problem with this show, Eddie says, I'm fine, thanks. I've been watching Snow White and Sleeping Beauty on Disney Plus this week.
Oh, very good.
Awesome.
Wait. Like the new...
I don't think
anime?
the new Snow White is out yet.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the anime.
With Rachel Ziegler.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So I was wondering if that was out. Anywho,
Okay.
my
she's
problem
Snow
with this Netflix version
Mm-hmm.
is that in my head, if you're going to be telling a story about two people who meet once and then they meet again a year later, and et cetera, their inciting incident of their connection should be palpable, and it should be worth those characters being like
they make a point to see each other
I
every
see
year.
This guy
it's
again.
not
I
coincidental.
See this girl again.
Yeah.
They become like best friends, and it like checks in with them once a year.
Oh, they're not lovers. I
I
mean, in the 1988, in the
Right.
very beginning.
they almost are.
Oh.
There's supposed to be a lot of like, will they, won't they, and like they're kind of get together, but then they don't wind up getting together.
Also,
but
they
like
don't hook up the first
clearly,
Not
they're
in the first
right.
time. When you
Yeah.
said sparks fly, I thought they were
clearly
playing
there's
cross
just
flies.
assumed,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
supposed to be a connection,
Oh.
but I never see that connection between these two actors.
Oh.
It just, I don't understand. At the end of the first episode, I was like, neither of them are likable. Why do they want to see
You
each
don't
other?
even like them separately.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
you're right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. This you might just not want to watch the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Just stop. Give up.
It's one of those things where like Sushan has it on.
Mm-hmm.
You've all had this, right? Like the other person has it on, and you're not really interested, but then you find yourself like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just.
Well, now I want to know what happened.
That's how I've watched a good chunk of Oppenheimer, because Kos is just such a big fan. He'll just have it on, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch this part.
guess
Yeah.
I'll
I'll just
sit
sit
down.
down
What
and
happens
watch
with that? What are they up to?
Yeah.
this.
So
What happens now?
what's the Oppenheimer now? You know? What's happening?
And then you check in later with
Yeah.
what's
What's
happening
happening
now when
now?
he's older.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
Anyway, I would not recommend One Day. It's just.
What about
but
the
I'm
movie?
But so far, I'm like, we got like 2 episodes left. I might as well finish them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Are you the kind of person, I don't know if this happens as much with shows, but I'm the kind of person when I start a book, even if I don't like it, I have to finish it.
I used to be.
I
Okay.
also
But
used
I'm
to be, and then
getting
I was like,
closer
what am
to
I
the
doing?
grave,
What
and
am I
I'm
doing?
running out of time.
Okay, I feel like I'm going to start becoming that person, because I was like, why am I forcing myself to read this if I'm not enjoying it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if
You're like, what?
people
Yeah.
have similar things
I
with
got other
shows where
things
you're
like
like, I just got to know how it ends.
Yeah.
But at that point, if I really just want to know how a show ends, I just Google it.
See,
if I don't
that's
like
the
it,
other
I'm
thing
like, I'll
is
just look it up.
nowadays,
Yeah,
Right? You
I'll
can just
just
be
look it
like,
up.
let me see what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Huh. Did you like the movie?
From what I remember,
All right.
I remember enjoying the movie, but it may,
Probably
had more
enough to
chemistry.
trust
right?
your-
Yeah.
Who was
Anne
the other?
Hathaway.
And
Anne
whom?
Anne Hathaway's boyfriend in the movie.
Oh.
Wow.
So they do get together.
Oh,
A show you
spoiler.
don't like has been spoiled.
Me. Oh, that's it. Okay, so I thought there's something chatted something. So that's what we've been up to this week.
Huh.
Let us know in the chat what you've been up to this week. Just throw out a name of.
Yeah.
Like,
We got
you've
Snow
been-
White
Jennifer
and
Aniston.
Sleeping Beauty.
Follow
Yeah,
Eddie's
Snow
example.
White, Sleeping Beauty. I'm
Yeah.
assuming the animated versions.
Classics.
Bossy's that's what?
I said follow Eddie's example. I wasn't
yeah.
talking to you. You just did it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I would like other people to say what they've been up to this week.
A show dropped this week, last week,
Recently.
based on a very popular video game.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk about it now. It's called Fallout. We will. I've only watched 2 episodes. Alice has watched 2 episodes. Brian,
Yes.
the guy who never watches anything.
That's not true. I
Never-
watch a lot
you
of
never
stuff.
watch a single
you
thing.
don't watch
You're
the same
going
thing.
to museums while the
Yeah,
rest of us
you're
are watching Always
yeah,
Sunny.
thinking your
I
thoughts.
cackled in my pettiness.
He watched the whole damn thing, and then even
Very
Dylan,
disturbing to the other museum
Dylan in the
patrons.
booth. You watched the whole thing,
Evilly
right?
cackling at this piece of art.
You watched it all.
Dylan
I
watched
watched
the
it
whole
all.
thing too.
Yeah.
Now why was I cackling like this?
What were you?
Oh, okay. That was how I was
Oh,
doing
yeah,
it.
sorry.
So the reason that I watched all of them was I had a block of time, and I was like, it should not necessarily be construed as like I was so into this show. Although I did like it, obviously, I watched
Okay.
all of them, but I also enjoyed just I'm gonna keep going with this thing,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna just get into
I'm
the
gonna see
world.
it through.
I don't have a lot of other stuff to watch. I'd forgotten that new Resident Alien had come out, which I later watched, and it was very cool. But so yeah, I got into it, and there were things that I was like, I'm not so into this part, but it was a whole world, and I liked that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I really wanted to, but I just wasn't able to find the time to watch.
Exactly. I
whole
did enjoy it. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I will.
So yeah, streaming on Amazon Prime right now. It's created by Graham Wagner, who we may know from Portlandia and Silicon Valley.
I love
which
both of
was-
those shows.
Silicon Valley is so good.
Yeah.
Portlandia, I think, peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
But Silicon Valley was awesome. Did you?
Only valleys in Silicon Valley.
Have
But
you
it's good.
seen Silicon Valley?
Whoa.
No.
I feel like you would.
Yeah.
You
Really
would
like
like Silicon
Okay.
Valley.
Yeah.
I could use it.
Costa loves Silicon Valley.
I feel like you would find it very funny. And then also created by Geneva Robertson Dworet from Captain Marvel and Tomb Raider.
What did she do with Captain Marvel?
She was writer. One of the
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Starring Walton Goggins. That's the only person I want to mention because I love Walton Goggins from Justified and
can
also
love
The
other
Hateful
people.
Eight. And then Ella Purnell from Yellow Jackets.
Who apparently is also the voice of one of the main characters on the Star Trek Prodigy
Yes.
animated
I
show, which
saw
I did
that.
not know.
Yeah.
And Invincible.
Yes,
Oh, really?
I saw that too. I was
Oh,
looking
cool.
her up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in a future post-apocalyptic Los Angeles brought about by nuclear decimation, citizens must live in underground bunkers to protect themselves from radiation, mutants, and bandits. Must they?
They mustn't.
Must they?
And also, the mutants are citizens. That's kind of a jerk thing to say.
Well,
Like,
no, there was that mutant cockroach. That giant cockroach.
That's true. I guess there are
Episode-
non-citizen mutants that you
Yeah,
have to
that was a
protect
mutant
from too.
cockroach.
But how intelligent was that cockroach? They didn't get to it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Could've
Sorry
been
if
pretty
that's a
smart.
spoiler. I
Yeah.
only saw
It
it
was
for
a
a glimpse
cockroach.
in episode 2. I
Yeah.
was like, that is a mutant cockroach. I know a thing or two about bugs. It's
Yeah.
not a normal cockroach.
They're not that big.
They're not that big.
Shouldn't be able to ride them. I have no experience with Fallout.
No.
Alice?
Vicariously through Costa. So very little, but he has
Okay.
way more.
Okay.
And I just
Brian?
listened when it.
In
No, I know
Fallout?
that picture of that guy where he's doing the thumbs up.
I know that picture,
Yeah.
yeah.
I did
Yeah.
get that reference in the first episode, and I was like, this is a thumbs up.
And
You got
I got the
fact that it
thumbs
was
up.
a thumbs up?
yeah.
Well, I knew. I
it
was
was a
like, he
reference
mentioned
to
like
the
doing
game.
a thumbs up.
Oh, that it was from the game.
Yeah, I knew
I
that it was
gotcha.
from the game. I was like, oh.
I thought-
haha.
okay.
Dylan, are you a Fallout video game fan?
I'm
Fallouter.
not a huge gamer. I don't really.
Game?
I don't really play video games very much, but I feel like I definitely know a couple of people who did play it, and I definitely watched them play it for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like
Yeah.
you're running around searching for remnants of the past world, and I remember the one thing I do remember from the video game is that there was just a little robot that would roll around and hang out with you and like tell you what to do. But that wasn't in the show. I don't know.
Is that Fallout? It sounds like that other game, Borderlands.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe. And that just
Logic
goes
is
to
silent.
show how much I know about video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I learned from the video game podcast that we produce here, and then that's
Gotcha.
it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always more interested in like reading the story of the game.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
than the act. It's like
I've
I
never
don't
done
want
that.
to do your work for you. Just
Yeah.
tell me the story.
Tell me the story.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of the story.
Yeah.
Just
Right,
tell
right, right.
me.
Don't immerse
I
me in
love
this
story bit.
world. I didn't ask for this.
Exactly. You got your own problems. Handle it.
I also enjoy watching people play video games. My brother is
Yeah.
very good at video games, and I've watched him. I mentioned this last week. Play like the Batman Arkham games, even though I'm bad at them myself. But
Yeah.
I think I've watched Costa play a couple Fallout games.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Jeremy says I've been watching through Star Wars Bad Batch. Good stuff.
Oh, nice.
It is good stuff. I'm on season 2 right now of Bad Batch. I hear that season 3 is amazing. And it's got a lot of good palpy stuff in it. And he also says there's definitely some helpful robots, but they're not permanent companions,
Yeah.
just occasional NPCs.
I wondered if the voices are the same in some cases.
Right, like they use the
Yeah. I don't know who
Voices,
did the.
yeah.
Didn't they
yeah.
do that in Last of Us? They had some of the voice actors
they?
as like other they weren't like main characters,
Yeah.
but they were like in the show.
Yeah, I
Somewhat. I think Joel, like the voice of Joel in the video game, was in the show.
Yeah, and I
Somewhere.
think somebody in the first episode is like a major character in the game, but it was
Oh, I
playing
think
somebody
is
else.
the voice of Ellie.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think.
Oh, yeah.
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 voice, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I watched the first 2 episodes of Fallout, and I felt the first episode was a little lengthy. I was surprised at how many we would be flashing back and forth to different. I thought it was going to be just the bunker.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Or like maybe Get Out, but just her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the fact that we're jumping back and forth between the main character who's in the vault, and then what's his name, Maximus?
Maximus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
When that jump was made, I thought it was the end of like the episode, and I was like, did we start
Yeah.
episode 2? Is this the start of a new episode? And I was like, nope. still episode 1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, right on.
It did seem kind of long at times, and when they
Yeah.
did that jump, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. My interest petered out just a little bit.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh man.
yeah,
Okay, cool. We're doing like a military
like a whole
thing.
other thing.
Yeah, I
you
thought
know?
it was just me because we were watching it a little bit later at night, so I was like, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
I get to go to bed.
I felt there were moments like that for a little while in the show
Yeah.
where I was like, it's not really the pacing is not
Right.
the most intriguing, captivating pacing.
It
Yeah.
hiccups every so often.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
slows down a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
I think that did stop as it gets going.
As things amp up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Good. Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of loved that line talking about the thumbs up.
Yeah.
The little girl, and she's looking for the cloud, and she goes, "Is it my thumb or yours?" About
it's
how big,
bigger. Yeah, yeah.
big the cloud
That
is
was a
supposed
nice
to be.
way to deliver the information that
like-
the bomb dropped.
Oh, I
for that.
love
Yeah.
that bit. Yeah, thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was just I didn't know he was in it, but I'm always delighted to see Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
What else has he been up to?
Well, he was in Justified, which is a Western show.
Right. I've not seen that.
That our friends Gangsta Grass did the soundtrack.
Yes, they did.
And Hateful Eight, Quentin
Haven't seen it yet.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
Love
And
that.
Cool.
the Righteous Gemstones.
I've never seen.
He's
Righteous
Uncle
Gemstones.
Baby Billy.
uh,
It's a good show. It's a
Yeah.
great show. Check it out.
Oh, Rob Patey's joining us.
Hey, he really
Ex-
likes Fallout
yeah.
from what I hear.
Ex-cult popper. The slow moments are usually game Easter eggs.
Oh,
Like when they fade to black
see?
in between the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, so since none of us have any Fallout experience firsthand, I assume you do. Do you think that it is a good adaptation of that game? As a gamer, are you enjoying it? So yeah, I watched the second episode today, and it certainly is picking up. And I was delighted.
Yeah,
to
I
see
really enjoyed the second episode.
Ben from Lost.
Lost. Yes,
Yeah.
he's
He
great.
was so good in Lost.
He was really good in
Yeah,
Lost.
right.
He did the voice of the Joker in one of the animated
no
movies
kidding.
too. Yeah,
What?
and
Which
as I recall, he's
one?
really
Yeah.
good. I don't know. Right around when John DiMaggio did one too.
Okay.
It was like two extremely different
Different
Jokers, but
Jokers.
both really good. He Killing Joke maybe.
Oh, it's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
it could be that one.
I thought that was Mark Hamill, but maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
be
So
wrong.
there are a lot of cool guest stars as this goes on.
Yeah.
Oh,
that-
okay.
yeah, there's a bunch of people that comedic actors also that I'm like,
Oh, cool.
sweet.
Oh,
And
I
don't
was
know.
I was surprised to see Michael Rappaport show up.
Wait, who was he in this?
He was in episode 2.
Uh-huh.
He's the Titan. Is that his name?
Titus.
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 The big guy in the suit with the bear.
The big guy. Oh,
The
right.
irradiated bear.
Oh, yeah. I didn't put together that was him.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport from one of my all-time favorite movies. I forgot the name of it.
Cosplay.
Your all-time favorite movie.
Yeah. That
True
one,
Romance. True Romance.
So he's in True Romance. I forgot about that.
I love that
I haven't
movie.
seen it in
Yeah.
so long. It's good. What
Eric Estrada was freaking in this. Eric Estrada from Chips.
What?
Oh my
Is that the right,
god.
am I thinking of the
So
right
is-
guy? Eric Estrada? Is that Chips?
Maybe. I'm not certain.
Punch. Yeah, Punch.
So who was he in this?
Lots. So he's responding to my question. He says, lots and lots and lots. Yes, I love it as someone who is playing Fallout 76 while watching y'all. Oh, wow,
Awesome.
that's awesome. Yes, Chips.
Awesome. Who was he in this, Rob? So also in that episode 2, you see two other actors whom I really like. The guy who runs the Brotherhood is an exceptional character in Mr. Robot.
Oh, okay.
He has some of the coolest
Oh, I've only
lines.
seen season 1.
Same.
Yeah, he does not show up until after that, but
Okay.
he is a major player at Evil Corps.
Okay.
And he's got like these amazing monologues and just like is a very cool, very interesting character and does a great job. And I recommend watching the rest of that.
yeah, I
And
forgot about it until you just said it. So now.
yeah, cool.
Maybe that'll be
Next
what I'm
week.
up to next
That'll
week.
be awesome. And the guy that plays one of the other cadets who's like kind of one of the lead ones that beats up Maximus.
Oh yeah, I
and
recognized him.
He was in Ant-Man.
That's why I
And he's
recognized
also
him.
in Superstore occasionally.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He is so funny. His like comedic capability is outstanding. And like he plays this dumbass in Superstore, and he's so good and so like brilliant delivery.
He's also in a singular episode of New Girl, and it just hit me.
Is he?
He's there's an episode where they're all flashing back to how they lost their virginities, and Jess is talking about prom. He's her prom date.
Oh, nice.
And she ends up not hooking up with, but like they're they're part of like the gender equality club, so they're like constantly asking for consent before doing anything. Like, may I sit on the bed next to you? May I do that? Like that's them.
Oh, I want to find that.
It just hit me now that that's him. That's so funny.
Even actors like Zach Cherry, who I know from Severance and Shang-Chi. And
Severance, that's it.
and
Yeah.
Succession.
Guys,
Boy.
what about our king,
Huh.
Kyle MacLachlan?
Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan. Well, see, I didn't consider him like this level of role because he's in it.
Wait, is Matt Berry
You know
in
what
this?
I mean? Yes.
I assume yes.
He is.
Shut up!
I was
Okay,
going
this is
to
now my
ask
favorite
if
show.
You wanted to know that?
This is now my favorite show.
New York City.
New
Yeah.
York City.
I'll tell you what. I will ask you personally. Do you want the spoiler for who he is in this?
It's right there. It says Mr. Handy.
Yeah, but that doesn't really.
That means nothing
That's
to
just
me.
like a
Right.
name.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I kind of do.
So
I don't know if
we-
our viewers and JD, are we in the spoiler territory yet?
It's really
Spoilers.
not much of a spoiler. It's just
Yeah.
that he does the voice. So I mentioned, I wonder if any of the voice actors do the same characters, and he plays the robot. And so I wonder if he is also the robot in the game.
Oh my god.
But I was just watching it and I was like, it's Matt Perry.
The most
awesome.
recognizable voice.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tom Lennon is in it a little
Tom
while
Lennon
later.
from the
Fred
States.
Armisen is in it. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of people.
I wasn't sure I was going to continue this show.
Okay.
I felt that the first 2 episodes were fine and interesting enough, but I also found myself kind of checking my watch a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't really absorbed by what was happening on screen.
Even
So-
with Walton Goggins there.
Only when Walton Goggins is
Then
there.
you were absorbed.
Then I was
Absorbed.
glued.
Yeah.
Glued
Yeah.
and absorbed.
I saw a really cool TikTok of him getting his makeup done.
Oh, yeah?
To be the ghoul.
Does he just have a green nose?
No, they do like I mean maybe they do it later, but
Or like green screen,
maybe
right?
they do, yeah. Or but like the whole like prosthetic thing on his head. Oh my
Mm.
god, it must have taken hours, but it looked beautiful, and now I want to do it.
It does look really good.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it to him?
No, I want to.
Oh, okay.
So I do special effects makeup for funsies.
Oh, cool.
I don't think I could do it that advanced, but I want to try my own version of it now.
Nice.
Rob says he was the dad that the ghoul thought was eating his daughter.
The dad thought that the ghoul was
No,
eating.
no,
What?
the ghoul thought that the dad. Wait.
He was the dad that the ghoul, though, was eating his
Yeah,
daughter.
the ghoul thought the dad was eating his daughter. Whoever that is. Actually, I haven't seen that.
Ghoul thought.
I know what he's referring to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's later. I don't remember.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's somebody thinks a dad thinks that the ghoul is eating his daughter, but then the daughter shows up. He's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. To go back, honestly, the only piece of this story I care about is Walton Goggins' character.
Okay.
And how he was an actor.
Yeah.
And I haven't even gotten to the thumbs up thing.
Oh, but it's cool, right? When he's like in episode 1, he's like,
I'm like,
It's
I'm
not the right
uncomfortable.
I really
time
want
Yeah.
to
to
do
do the
that.
thumbs up.
And then they do explain in that episode, I
Yeah.
think, like what that symbol means
Yeah,
at that time.
I'm in the beginning of episode 3, so I haven't even gotten to that yet.
No, I
just
think
see
in
that-
season 1. I think in episode 1.
episode 1 where he says
he's
that.
like,
No, I know,
well,
but
Oh.
why? Like I'm waiting for him to do it as an actor, right? 'Cause
Oh, why he
I
does it
remember-
as an
Oh, like
actor.
he did it
I
as
gotcha.
a
Right,
because
right,
they were
right.
asking him to do it for photos.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
like hey, do
Right,
the
right,
thing
right.
you do.
Yeah.
You know.
your classic signature move.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought it was cool the reason, because thumbs up usually good, and that it was because of the whole checking the nuclear blast against your thumb
Oh, see,
thing.
I didn't realize that was actually the explanation of when he used to do it as the actor.
No. I just thought
When
it was
he
cool
tells
that
his
that's
daughter
why. Yeah,
about what that's for.
he really did do that when he was in the army.
Yeah.
And so he knows of that as the symbol, and they're under serious threat of nuclear war.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were right to be worried.
Yes, yeah.
By minute 5.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was an interesting add-on. I don't know if that's real.
So I know that the thumbs up has been integral to the game, right? Because it's part of the logo. But they gave it a mythology now. So there actually was no mythology to the thumbs up in the games.
Interesting.
It's only here.
Interesting.
Because that's cool as hell.
I was wondering that because like I'd always seen the like Fallout kid with his thumbs up.
Yeah.
And I saw like some post somewhere that was like, did you know that this is because of like the nuclear blast? And I was like, oh, that's cool if that's the reason it's part of the game. And then some people were like, no, that's not true. And so I don't know.
Now
That'd be cool. Yeah. I wasn't sure which came first, but that's cool.
I heard that I just read a headline and then breezed right past it, and it said that this was a backstory for the ghoul that did not exist in the game at all.
I would believe that.
You believe it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I choose to believe the thing you
don't
read.
believe it.
I choose to believe the headline that you breezed past.
I'm kind of asking it as a question.
Oh.
Or not. I'm putting it out there and I'm hoping Rob confirms
There it
that.
is.
Or he says, no, it's not the case. It was that, right? So,
Correct.
Rob,
Correct.
excellent. Thank you, Rob. My implicit request was honored.
I'm tempted to keep watching it, but I'm not.
I'm going to.
Huh.
Yeah, you're on
You're gonna
board.
watch it?
I was
already
going
watched it.
to already, and now that I know Matt Berry is
Matt
involved,
Berry?
I am 100% on
He's
board.
pretty cool, too.
Yeah.
So you watched the whole thing.
I
but
did.
You made it clear that
I
it wasn't
made it-
because you liked the show so much.
I wanted to make it clear.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But do you did you like the show?
I did like it.
Did it end well?
No, I did like the show. Yeah, I thought it ended well. Rob,
there have been many ghouls in the game, none as a central protagonist, though. I didn't realize that.
Oh, there we go.
Glad you're here, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Yeah, I did like the show. There were elements of it where I was like, I like the whole retro future 50s thing, but, and possibly just because this game was made a while ago and it's adapting that, I was like, I feel like this isn't as fresh maybe as it would have been for me a few years ago. And like, they have black and white TV, but they also have robots and, you know, that kind of thing. And I saw something very similar in, what was that show with Billy Crudup? It's on Apple. I reviewed it for this.
The morning show?
No.
Oh.
That is not a show
love that
set in
show.
an alternate technology world where they have black and white TV and robots.
I've never
As
watched, so
understand.
I wouldn't know.
I haven't
Yes.
either. I'm really putting myself out
I was
there.
gonna
on the
say,
line.
All I
could be
could think
wrong.
of was Billy Crudup, and that's probably not even the right actor. But go ahead.
Is it the actor I'm talking about? I don't know. It was Hank Azaria is also in this show, and they sell. They're like con artists, but they are salesmen for apartments on the moon, which is a real thing
yes.
in that world. They just don't have them. It's a really good show, and they do that. Like retro future robots, but
Hello
rounded edge.
Tomorrow.
Hello tomorrow.
That's it.
Great. It's a great
not
show.
the morning show.
No.
Yeah.
But they both involve times of the day or the concept of a day.
That's
There
right.
you go.
So there you go.
Basically the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the same universe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there was another video game that with that same sort of vibe, which is like the futuristic, like 1960s future.
I love retro future stuff.
Retro
So do
future.
I.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Gosh, what was that called?
It was a video game, BioShock.
BioShock. That's the
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
That's
Forgot about
I actually
Bioshock.
finished that entire game.
Nice.
There have been many. The world changed in 1945. We doubled down on nukes instead of the microtransistor. Hence, the 1950s world continuing into the 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it. You know, it's cool. And though, like, Western sci-fi is an interesting mix. You know, the Ghoul certainly has like strong Western ties early in the show in the past, but then also
A lot of Western songs in the soundtrack as well.
I love the soundtrack.
And the end of the first episode I thought was cool because it sounds like it was a song from back then, but it's about you know, burning alive and radiation. So you guys, I noticed later you see one of the posters for Walton Goggins' character's movie, right? And it's a man and his dog. And I was like, oh, that reminds me of A Boy and His Dog. And so I looked it up, and I've never seen it or read it, but it's a pretty well-known and respected post-apocalyptic story. And I was like, oh, what a cool reference. And let me look this up. And then I read it, and I was like, oh, you know, there's actually a lot of similarities. And Harlan Ellison wrote the novella, and it was a movie. And I was like, oh, you know, it turns out oh, look, Fallout was largely inspired by A Boy and His Dog.
Yeah.
And that's why they did this reference. And this post-apocalyptic world of the movie of A Boy and His Dog takes place in 2024.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't think we're there yet, but I was like, holy shit.
Yet.
Like, yeah, this is wild. And also, yeah, I guess this is why it's similar to A Boy and His Dog. It's a cool thing for them to put in as a
is
reference.
interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know the movie, but I've never actually watched it.
No, and I didn't realize it was a movie. I knew it was a novella. And I was reading it and then seeing, oh, it's 2024. I was like, I want to watch this movie and see what's happening.
Curious.
Take
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
What
So-
should I look out for?
Buy this lottery ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it comes up.
Speaking of the soundtrack, all of the songs are from the game.
Yes.
Oh, is
Yes,
it?
I knew.
Yeah.
I recognized that because at my last job, I worked in a lab and we were allowed to listen to music in the lab. And for some reason, it became a thing. Every Friday, we would call it Fallout Friday, and we'd listen to the Fallout soundtrack. We had a lot of fans of Fallout in the lab.
Nice. And
And
were
I
you a
did-
fan of the soundtrack?
I was a huge fan of the
Cool,
soundtrack.
cool.
And for a while, I didn't know it was like the video game soundtrack. I was like, these are fun, like retro songs, and they're like, it's from the video game Fallout. I was like, oh, I just thought we were calling it Fallout Friday for fun.
Oh.
I was expecting more Fallout Boy. I don't know. This is weird.
Fun Fallout Friday.
All right.
I was falling out over
Oh,
here. Yeah.
I come like dressed in like emo clothes, like ready to rock, and I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, you have a radio on your Pip-Boy, so you can just listen to your grandparents' greatest hits while playing. I love when video games do stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
Gosh, what was the one with? There's like 19 of them, and you drive around and murder people.
Grand
until
Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
I never played any of these
and
games.
murder people.
And you can change the radio stations and
Yeah,
everything, and they have
yeah.
like fake radio stations.
Oh,
going.
I didn't know you could do that. in
Oh,
that
it's
game.
fun. Yeah.
The cool
like,
thing
whole
about
other,
that
like,
though is that they're like
different
real radio stations.
What's that, Dylan?
The cool thing about that though is that there'll be real radio stations though. Like artists will curate them for the game in Grand Theft
that's
Auto.
funny.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But they'll have like fake DJs.
Yeah, I think the older ones. I think the newer ones are when like they actually started like having them be more like real radio stations where
Oh,
like,
no kidding.
yeah, like certain
cool.
artists would like be the DJ for that station.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Chris Dunn says, and by playing, he means murder. So much murder. Oh, yeah, tons and tons of murder. Talk radio on GTA is the best. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge gamer. There are a bunch that I've played, like Last of Us. I started Last of Us 2. I think that one of the only games I ever finished was Alan Wake, the first
Oh, is that
Alan
right?
Wake. Yeah, nice horror game.
There you go.
It's fun. That's a good one.
See, I'm an absolute chicken when it comes to horror games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Anything that really immerses me in it. I usually don't do haunted houses, but like I love. I mean, I work in an actual morgue, but you put me in a
Right.
fake one with a clown with a chainsaw, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
We're literally
get
above a haunted house right now.
We are. No, the first time I recorded with you guys, we weren't at this location. And then the second time I came to record, you gave me a ride, and you didn't tell me until I was in the car. You're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's at the haunted,
the haunted
house place."
house.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Are you gonna murder me?" Like, this
Maybe.
It's not haunted yet, Alex.
You're like, "Oh, by the way, we're not going to the location we went to last time. I'm gonna take you to the haunted house that isn't open right now." I'm like, "What?"
You don't like haunted houses. What if you're the one haunting?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Then
definitely.
the tables would be turned.
I have
Right?
talked
You would be
about
into it.
this on
Okay.
Inside the Morgue. It is my dream. Not my dream, I guess, because if I'm being autopsied, that means something went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But if I am ever autopsied, I want to haunt the morgue
Okay.
so that I can see my own autopsy.
Oh.
Just for that amount of time, or
Yeah.
if you want to stick around after?
would you
No,
be
no,
there
I'll go
judging?
somewhere else
Then
after.
you're
What?
done.
Would you be there judging like you're not doing it right? That
I don't know.
incision sucks, bro.
I wouldn't want to be there to judge. I just want to know what my organs look like.
Right on. So what if,
Depending on
as
how
the
you
ghost,
die, you may find
you
out.
might find out, but
before
also,
you die.
Oh shit!
What if you're holding them?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
my
true.
God.
That would be fun for
Yeah.
you. So
You're like,
you
oh,
could.
I hope. See, this is what I meant. I hope
Yeah.
if I don't die in a way where I have to be autopsied, but if I
Right.
do. I'm gonna try it if I
I'll-
become a
I'm
ghost.
gonna
Is that not
peek.
everybody? Do they not always do that?
What?
An autopsy?
No,
they
not
don't always
always.
do that. Oh,
no,
okay.
no. If
Rob-
it's obviously natural, they usually.
Right.
Everyone shut
What if
up.
it was
I
poison?
want to tell Rob you're right. Rob, you're right. Spider-Man
Yeah.
2 is one of my all-time has gone down in history as one of my all-time favorite video games. I love Spider-Man 2.
Yeah?
Continue.
It's,
What if you were poisoned? Was the question I asked.
well, if it's like suspicious circumstances, and
Yeah,
like yeah.
Okay.
If there's
Alright.
reason to believe it's suspicious, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. The last video game system I had, I think, the last game that I played was a friend of mine gave me the Xbox.
Oh.
And then before that, whatever PlayStation came out right before that. So
Yeah.
it's like 2005, maybe, something like that.
Sure.
And I don't think I've played a game on a console or PC since then.
Wow.
Oh, I played Monument Valley on the phone.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
MC
yeah.
Escher kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I played that.
was cool.
Yeah.
There's this,
Oh, sorry. No, finish your thought.
there's a second one and I haven't gotten to.
Yeah.
Right.
I still own an Xbox 360.
Cool.
Nice.
That goes all the way around.
It was my brother's. He doesn't believe that I still have it because it was old when he had it. He repaired it himself because it was like falling apart when he was in college, and like he just gave it to me because I wanted to try playing the Batman Arkham games. And I'm really, really, really bad at them, but I have fun playing them on my little beat up Xbox 360. And actually, when Kos and I were moving, we hired movers to help us move, and like they could not believe that we had an Xbox 360 just sitting in our. He's like, "Why do you still have this?" I was
Why
like,
is
That's
this, Why
rude.
is this packed already?
and he's like,
We're the mover.
That's why he was upset.
We're not hackers.
Yeah.
We're the
He's like,
movers.
what? He's like, I'm just thinking he's judging me for my poor taste.
No.
He's just
Just
like,
like-
no.
like,
Did you
Again,
put it in
oh.
the
terrible
fucking
at
box? Yeah. You guys know we're
No, but
moving.
he made a
you.
comment because he saw Costa had a PS4, and he's like, see, I respect the PS4, but what the hell is that? And he's like, just like this beat up Xbox 360 next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all you got?
The show is fine. The show is.
It was fine. The
I am
lead-
interested in the main girl's story.
Yeah,
I
she.
don't care.
You don't
Oh,
care about
really?
her
I
story?
love
Oh, I
her.
like her. Yeah, she's
I
cool.
think
she's
I
fine.
think, are we in spoilers now? Can I talk about
Oh, we've
Yeah.
been.
Okay, I
Yeah,
just
we're
wanted to
about
double
to
check.
wrap up.
Yeah, we're done. I thought it was interesting how she, and I want to know why she did this. I mean, I kind of guess she straight up lied about being a bad shot. Like when they were interviewing her to be like married off, she's like, yeah, I dabble in rifling, but I'm not that good. And it cut to her getting perfect targets.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
when shit hits the fan, she's crushing it
Yeah.
as like an assassin level person.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming she lied because she wanted to be like,
Little Miss Susie Homemaker. She
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to be-
like 1950s.
That could be. My impression of that was that it was one of those like juxtapose kind of things where
Yeah.
she's kind of like humorously like, I'm not that good, and then we see her being very good,
See,
and that
Because she was bragging about like typically like stereotypically like 1950s women, like I'm
Yeah.
good with kids and like my reproductive organs work, and
Yeah.
like
That's true.
I'm an okay shot, and then she's like
Yeah.
amazing at it. So I'm like,
it surprises me now that you mention it. It could be would the vault be anti everyone being really good at survival?
that's
stuff?
what I want
You
to
know
know,
what I mean?
because
Yeah.
I want to know if like her dad trained her on like the
Oh, like,
Talmud.
secretly?
And I know you might know this, but like I want to figure out because
Right. And the reproductive organs thing, it was like, oh, right, that does.
yeah.
This is like
That's
a constant
important.
problem.
Yeah.
I assume that.
Yeah.
Or it's something to think about. Did
Also-
you guys know?
no.
Go ahead.
It was the whole cousin thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
I was like,
Crazy cousin action.
I'm bringing up cousin action, and I'm like,
Yeah. There's not a lot of people.
I
They're
know.
all kind of
Yeah.
related, I assume.
Yeah.
It's been 200 years.
but her one cousin who like can't let go, and she's like,
into
listen,
it.
listen,
Yeah,
Chet.
yeah. It's not a viable sexual activity.
Well, actually, for a lot of human history, like most, that was very common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just cousin up.
Just cousin up, they would call it.
Yeah.
And then that's how the English language started. Those were the first two words in the
Yeah.
English language.
Cousin
and then
up?
cousin up.
Cousin up.
Yeah.
Cousin up.
They just like cousin up.
Yeah. And they're like, I'm not your cousin. And they're like, forget
Absolutely
you.
not.
Yeah.
Family is the most important. It's like Fast and Furious.
Where,
That's what that show's. That's what those movies are
right.
about. Like
the
cousin-
Fast and Furious is the sex,
Cousin
right?
up. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Cousining up.
No, what I was going to say is, speaking of very limited populations, I recently learned that I think between like 9 and 11,000 years ago or so, the human population was apparently down to some incredibly small number, like 100,000 people or something like that. We were almost extinct. And then all of modern humans comes from that bottleneck.
Whoa.
It was like the size of a town.
So we're all related.
Well, yeah, I wonder how many of our mutations happened
Oh my
during
God.
that time, right?
Are we
I don't know.
the
It's
mutants?
interesting.
We are the mutants.
We are constantly evolving, so
Yeah,
there's
we
that
are.
mutation, right?
Yeah.
Rob Patey is saying in the game you get 5 attributes called special: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, luck. That scene was pure fanboy service.
What scene? The shooting thing?
The shooting?
Shooting thing.
I
Okay.
guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there like a shooting gallery before you leave the vault, maybe.
Maybe.
I played a game once called Ring World, and it was based on this book series,
Yeah.
which is awesome, Larry Niven. And I was pretty young, and it was a computer game, and you arrive at Ring World, and you're supposed to get off the spaceship and go down to Ring World, and I could not figure out how to get off of the spaceship, which I don't think was supposed to be like a puzzle. I think you're just supposed to leave the spaceship.
Yeah.
I never played it. I never figured
You're
it
just
out.
running into a wall.
Yeah. It was like, how do you open the door?
I remember I did the same exact thing, but for Five Nights at Freddy's,
Yeah.
where I was like,
Oh
why
my God.
can't I leave this security office?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's the point of the
Turn
game.
stuff on and off. I can close.
This is
the-
it.
Why can't I walk?
You're trying to attack Freddy, and he's just like,
Eh.
he's like, you're making this too easy for me. You're just sitting right here with the
Freddy.
doors open.
Yeah.
See, I had the opposite thing with Five Nights at Freddy's. I was like, I didn't know you could run out of electricity. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here with all the
Yeah.
doors shut and lights off the
dumb.
entire
You're going
time.
to run out of electricity?
Yeah.
Well, like run
They
out
didn't
of
bring
power.
that into the movie.
Yeah.
That movie.
That
There's a
movie.
sequel
Is there?
coming up, I think.
Six Nights at Freddy's?
5 Nights at Frank's.
Oh, okay.
Ah. Or is it like 28
move
days
along.
later, 28 months later? Is it like 5 months at
And
Freddy's?
28 years
Oh.
later is
28,
coming up.
and then
soon,
we'll have 5 years at
apparently.
Freddy's.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're doing
5
Have
years
you ever
at Freddy's?
Right.
That's all.
What?
Did you ever see like 28 Days Later?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
20,
I saw it.
28
Weeks, I think.
Is it weeks?
weeks later. That's
Yeah,
right.
weeks.
Yeah.
So we're
yeah,
in
there's
months now?
More of that coming.
20. Yeah. Now we're no years.
No, we're just jumping to years.
Straight to
All
years.
right.
Well, they didn't do fortnights.
They should have. They should have.
27 fortnight. So, Dylan, the show is over.
Yeah.
Are they doing a second season?
I have no idea. I just watched
Does it
yeah.
end on a cliffhanger?
It would be
I imagine that they intend to do another season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals where you're like, a story has been told.
Yeah.
Here's something that could happen right now.
Yes.
Oh,
says
yes.
Rob.
Yeah, I feel like it was just sort of like they want to continue the show, but also if
Yeah.
it does get canceled, it's not the worst ending.
Right.
you
You'd
know?
be like, okay, that was
Right,
an
yeah,
ending
yeah.
to a story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So Rob says, usually and yes. I am going to assume that was to something that I wanted him to agree with.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It ends with New Vegas, he says.
Oh, okay.
Means nothing to me. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Next week, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about next week? Yes.
Are we?
Aren't we?
Mr.
Are we?
Robot.
Are we?
Abigail?
Abigail.
What the hell is that?
It's a vampire movie.
It's a
With
vampire
Richard
movie.
E. Grant. No, I'm just kidding. It's not Richard.
Here's the thing.
I always gotta
it
bring
down.
it back to Little
Here's the
Vampire.
thing.
There is a little vampire in it, though.
There is,
There's
true.
a
A
little
little.
girl
Yeah.
named Abigail.
Oh. Is she the titular Abigail?
Yes.
She is the
It'd be weird
titular.
if there was more than one Abigail.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, get out of here,
Not me, the
Abigail.
other one. It's
We're
just an
talking
old
to
lady.
Abigail.
Yeah, next week, Abigail comes out, and then also Rebel Moon Part 2.
Oh, okay. I do want to see the second part of that.
Great. So maybe he'll watch Rebel Moon, and
Yeah.
we'll watch Abigail.
Is this like a horror type movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
a horror-
it looks
horror
kind
comedy.
of funny.
Horror
yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
Horror
Sometimes
comedy.
I like those.
Yeah.
Renfield was
What?
very cool.
Yeah.
Watch the trailer.
I'll watch
Might
it.
have some
Oh, it's
Renfield.
like a taste of the movie before I watch it?
Yeah, have you heard of
sounds cool.
trailers?
Yeah.
Have you not heard of trailers?
Yeah.
You should check them out.
Like the tone of it will be revealed.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
cool.
should
cool.
check it out.
Sometimes the entire movie is revealed.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yes.
If it's a bad trailer. Yeah.
Is Abigail in the trailer?
She is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The main one.
She
Titularly.
says I'm Abigail the vampire. That's the trailer.
I'm Abigail.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will talk at you later.